How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing good. I'm back from holiday, and there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening over the past week or so that I haven't seen, and I'm catching up with things. So the first thing we're going to go through today is we're going through the movers and the shakers of the past 2 weeks. So these are basically the TCG player article. We go through what are the biggest cards that are moving around in the Pokemon market right now. Just from this picture alone, I mean, I'm not going to look at, anything else right now. Just in this little headline picture, we see some black and white stuff. Of course, we've got the black bolt and white flare dropping in July. That set does actually look really good. When they announced it, I was actually quite excited for it. Originally with black and white, I'm like, not too sure, but with all the stuff that's coming with it, it's going to be pretty sweet. So today we'll be looking at the movers and shakers of the week, and we're going to see what has been making some moves. I'm intrigued because I'm looking to pick up some sweet cards, and I want to know what has been going on. So we have the Reshiram from the black and white era. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Celebrations one moves as well. I don't think in Celebrations they did like a different version with the stamp on it, so that might also have gone up. But this one has shot up very high, to be fair. I mean, look, it was like $50 and it's doubled in value in the past month. Of course, this was the talks of the black and white era sets, and I mean, it says here this was the biggest natural move of the last week, jumping 25% in 7 days, resulting in near mint stock temporarily disappearing. The turbocharger was already a wildly explosive 2025 for the black and white printing. That's very, very impressive. I mean, Reshiram was a steady $30 card, but with the news coming out this week, we quickly saw sub $75 copies. I mean, now it's $100, so yeah, pretty insane there. It talks about the Reshiram and Charizard. That's obviously an awesome art. I do have the normal tag team, but not that one. Then we've got the Zekrom, pretty much the same price as the Reshiram. It was naturally a bit higher to begin with, but over the past month, it was about $70 up to $100, so not quite the same. These do look better without the celebration stamp, I must admit. They do look better. And again, it's the same thing. It is the duo. They're going to go up together pretty much. It's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be any other black and white era, like generation Pokemon that see movements as well. Then we got the Suicune V coming from Crown Zenith. I mean, over the past 3 months, this one hasn't really done a huge amount. I mean, it was around $40 and it dipped in the low 30s and went back up to the 40s, and now it's dipping a little bit again. Incredible card. Crown Zenith is seeing huge gains across the board, so, pretty good. But it says here, this one's a good old-fashioned buyout. That's actually quite, as the number of average copies per buyer spiked from a very neutral 1 to the previous day to 24.3 copies per buyer on May 3rd. The market price moved up quite a bit as a result, from $33 up to $43 for a card that is just over 2 years old at this point. There we go. Again, I've said time and time again, there is so much easy manipulation to be had on TCG Player. This is a very, very common thing, especially when it comes to single cards. You do get buyouts, spikes the price up like crazy, and we saw it with the Drowsy. We've seen it pretty much a lot happen during the Scarlet and Violet era, and they seem to be going back to really random cards during the Sword and Shield era and trying it again there, and you can kind of see that happen, right? That big jump it had there, quite a big substantial jump, so quite interesting. Then we got the Leafeon EX from Prismatic. This is actually one of my favorite artworks from the set. I do like it. I do like Leafeon anyway, but I just think the artwork of this just looks absolutely amazing. So this one actually was $360. Then it went up to $460, so again $100 in value, and then it's dropped nearly $100 again. Over the past month, we just see it just being basically free fall. It's quite interesting, even though Prismatic, very difficult to get, right? It's obviously an expensive set anyway, tough pull rates, stuff like that. But there is more reprints coming. So we have here, switching things up for the moment to look at the other end of the spectrum. We saw continued drops on evolution cards across the board, which is to be expected after the huge runs of the last few months. Leafeon EX from Prismatic was the hardest, dropping almost 10% this week, down to $410. Well, as we've seen, it's dropped even more. And then you got the Eevee, which is this version of Eevee, dipped below $200 for the first time. That's quite interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of cards, big chase cards in the Scarlet and Violet era that are seeing tremendous drops right now. And that's a good thing. Good time to pick them up. Then we got Dialga, Forbidden Light. God, we don't really talk about Forbidden Light from the Sun and Moon era that much, but there you go. So we've got the ultra rare Dialga going from $15, doubling in value actually over the past 3 months. Over the past month even, it's done very well. And over the past 6 months, it's just incredible, right? Pretty much tripled in value. So that's pretty good. Remember that Mega Pokemon are already back in a big way this year. Of course, yeah, they've announced that Megas are coming back. I think they come back for like 1 or 2 sets, I think. So again, keep an eye on Mega cards. I think a lot of them started to shift anyway. If you go back to the XY era, some might see some big shifts. But the Dialga shift, I quite like that for a full art though. It does look pretty cool. Then we've got the Dragonite GX coming in. This one's from Dragon Majesty. Well, that's an expensive set. So again, over the past 3 months, $15 up to $22. And again, we're seeing huge gains to be had. I mean, it doesn't sound like a huge amount. You know, you look like $12, $24. That's nothing. These are like, some of these are over 200 or whatever. No, doubling in price is still very, very good. So yeah, again, we're seeing some movers happen regarding some older Sun and Moon actually cards. I was about to say Sword and Shield there, but no, Sun and Moon cards. Then we go to the movers and shakers recently. Okay, so we've got more old art Sun and Moon era cards coming through by the looks of it. So talked about the Reshiram already, so that was one that we did see. Victini, okay, so we are getting a new Victini card in the Black Bolt and White Flare set. It's like a solid red card. It's kind of interesting, actually. This one's from Noble Victories. This one's seen a jump from $35 up to $60. It's very similar to this style art, to be honest, and color. So that's quite interesting. The other recent movements is the Victini from Noble Victories, which simply had such a low available stock that when someone bought 2 copies last week, the price just jumped. Oh, okay. So yeah, again, potential buyout. There wasn't many copies lying around. That's why we're seeing that as well. Mega Sableye Trantar. I used to have this and I did get it graded. I bought this raw for like £30, right? Roughly. And then I got it graded and it got PSA 9. Bit gutted. I mean, in a PSA 10, it's worth an insane amount of money. But yeah, it's kind of weird. And at the time, it was one of these cards where it was still relatively cheap. And I sold the PSA 9 copy. I think I sold it for like 70 or something like that. But look at the raw price now. It's $200 raw. And I'm going back a while. I'm going back a couple of years now when I picked up this card and sold it. But man, if I had just kept hold of that card, who would have known that raw it would be $205? I picked this up for like 30, 35. That's crazy. I love Tyranitar, right? So for me, anything Tyranitar is amazing. I love the artwork of this. I was kind of gutted that it got a 9, so that's why I just sold it. I'm hoping to then pick up another one or to pick up a 10. But now, I mean, it's 205 raw. I don't know how much it is graded now, but yeah, pretty insane. Another example in the list of Mega Pokemon, of course, Mega, yeah, makes sense. Got the old arts. Yeah, I didn't really think about them. Of course, I'm thinking Mega, I'm thinking XY era, but of course, Mega Sableye, Mega Tyranitar from the Sun and Moon era, and there's some others as well, I believe. Yeah, that could see huge jumps, and yeah, this tag team has already been a reliable gainer over the last years. It first spiked back in 2022, 3 years after Unified Minds was printed, from $25 to $45. That's pretty much the time when I bought it was in 2022. Then it just kept going. It went on a peak of $175 in the summer of 2023. Unfortunately, I sold it before then. And here we are 2 years later and it's on the move again. And it says here that the price in January was $140 and now we're looking at over $200. Absolutely insane. Then we've got the Slowpoke and Psyduck GX. We're seeing a lot of GXs, or just tag teams in general, across the board, just going up in price again. We did see it happen. I think it was 2023. I think we did see a big boom of a lot of Sun and Moon era stuff. And it was mainly the art tag team. But now we're seeing like pretty much any tag team go up through the roof, which is very, very impressive. So $173 over the past 3 months. It's done very well. If we go back over the past year, you can get a real good indication. Slowly climbing, natural growth, but look at that big boom that it had recently. So it's more than doubled in value over the past year with this one. I do like it. I love tag team cards. They're some of my favorite artworks. I love artworks with multiple Pokemon in them. So for me, tag teams are amazing. I want them to bring them back. I think they will, but we'll have to wait and see when that will happen. Reshiram and Zekrom GX. This is an incredible artwork. I think this just looks so, so cool. Look how expensive that is. Holy smokes. We go back a year. This card was $90, $100, and it's more than tripled in value. Good lord. I mean, over the past 6 months, it's tripled in value. Holy smokes. Big moves here. Yeah, and the printing is tag teamed up, and the price has been on a tear, literally, for the last few months. A steady $90 to $100 card for years. Started moving back at the beginning of the year. By the time February closed, reality had changed quickly, and the pairing was a solid $200. So it doubled in value at the start of this year. And they said, but things didn't stop there. It continued to climb since, and today It's an astounding $290. Well, it's gone up even more since this, so it's now $330. Man, Cosmic Eclipse as well. It is definitely, it's probably the most expensive card, right, from Cosmic? Might be. I love Cosmic, but that's crazy. Soul Glare and Lunala, this is again another one. This one's from Cosmic Eclipse as well. Holy smokes, this one's also went to the moon. Holy, right. The $300, pretty much similar to the other one, was $120, and then bang. Again, incredible artwork. You know what I mean? We're seeing huge gains. Like already pricey, the tag team was a consistent $130 for almost all of last year. But that quickly moved closer to $200 back in January, and by April, it was up to $250. I mean, look at it now. I mean, it was this card. This was the biggest, the Arceus and Dialga. How much is this? Okay, so it's still up there, but this one definitely is one of the biggest ones from the set. And I remember the Rosa as well was a pretty big card. Oh, wow, Cosmic is going to the moon, baby. But yeah, I mean, Cosmic Eclipse booster boxes are ridiculously expensive. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think tag teams are very, very good. Everybody loves them, and I think the big old arts are going to do very, very well. But of course, megas, keep an eye out for anything that's mega from any era, whether it's X, Y, Sun and Moon, and so on. We already talked about the Reshiram earlier. Victini makes sense as well. Keep an eye out. Of course, we have the black and white set drop in the summer, and then later on this year, we do have some sets that will contain mega evolutions. I believe there's a Mega Charizard set. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure someone said that, but I have to look into that. But yeah, so a lot has been moving over the past few weeks, really. And if you just look back over the past few months, just this year alone, we've been seeing cards gain hundreds of dollars in value since the start of 2025. It's not just sealed product that's seeing huge gains. Older cards are seeing, it's kind of weird, like Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, kind of Sword and Shield, but Sun and Moon's making another boom again. It did in 2023 of summer 2023. It's doing it again in 2025. Last year was a boom of Sword and Shield. It's going to be interesting to see. At the moment, we're seeing Scarlet and Violet cool off quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see. Maybe next year, towards the end of this year, next year, we might see another boom of Sword and Shield. We might start to see a boom of Scarlet and Violet. But yeah, really, really interesting times. If you've made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments regarding what has been going on. I think it's just crazy. Which one of today is your favorite card? Big movers. Have you been picking anything up? What have you seen been going? Look, Prismac is getting reprinted. I expect prices to fall. As always, market manipulation is rife. Fantastic. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. It is crazy times we're in right now. If you watch more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends. And I'll see you in the next one.